giving all glory, all honor, all praises to Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai for the reading and the understanding of His word today. We want to always give homage to those who are trying to keep the commandments. This is the Shema with your bro Shi'yah, and this is my brother Gabar. We always want to make sure that we help those people keep the commandments. Before we get started today, I want to let you guys know something. The title of today's lesson is called Never Forget Your Charity. And I'm going back over this. I did a lesson about charity not too long ago, but we're going back over it because yesterday we did a skate ring thing where we had backpacks for kids that needed to go to school. We gave out school supplies. We gave out backpacks. We had food. We had hot dogs, nachos, and all these snacks and cupcakes and bread, all kind of stuff, right? When we gathered at the skating ring, me and my wife rented out a skating ring for the people to come and just do. I want y'all to understand something. People from all walks of faith, as far as Israelites, are coming to these functions. We have all types of people come. We don't all agree on the same type of doctrine. The Most High has put a spirit on us to just try to bring Israel together and just show love for our brethren. Even with the yacht event that we do, even with the Wall Street, Black Wall Street event that we do, we're always trying to create a forum for our people just to gather as a nation. And so we want to make sure that you guys understand our base mission is to try to bring Israel together, okay? And so right now, we're going to go into this lesson, and we want to keep in mind what charity is. I think it's important from time to time to let our people know what it is, because it's easy to forget it. I read over 1 Corinthians chapter 13 a million times. And sometimes when I go through something, or if I deal with people, or if something gets real shaky, I read over it. Guess what?
And something else is revealed to you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's new life that comes into it.
Yes.
So today, we're going to be on the idea of never forgetting to have charity. And charity is, and just so you guys know, charity is brotherly love. It's a multitude of it's more than just brotherly, but it's basically kindness towards your fellow brethren. Okay, I want to go to 1 Corinthians. We're going to start out with this 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 2. At verse 2,
the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy.
I have the gift of what?
Of prophecy.
So I know this Bible. I know how to prophesy in this book. Read.
And understanding all mysteries.
Understanding all what?
Mysteries.
So I can break down the complicated stuff that's in this Bible. Go ahead.
And all knowledge. And though I have all faith.
All what?
Faith.
So I got knowledge. I can break it down. I understand everything, the deep parables. And I got all faith. Go ahead.
So that I could remove mountains.
I can do what?
So that I can remove mountains.
This is a powerful individual who knows these things. But watch this. Read.
And have not charity.
And have not what?
And have not charity.
Read.
I am nothing.
I am what?
I am nothing.
So he's telling you the most important things, more than prophecy, more than the gift of prophecy, more than doing all these great things, more than breaking down deep parables, more than doing all these great things. He said, if I have not what?
And have not charity, I am nothing.
I'm nothing if I don't have charity. We always have to remember that, right? If you disagree with somebody on a particular doctrine, why not let your light so shine? Like it says in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14. Why not let your light shine and just be an example to them? And we're going to get examples how Christ worked today. Keep reading.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor.
All my what?
All my goods to feed the poor.
Notice we were doing things and we had functions and we give away backpacks and we do all these things. If we don't do these things with charity, it means nothing. Read.
And though I give my body to be burned.
I give my what?
To be burnt. My body to be burned.
So he's talking about now physical attributes. I'm sweating, I'm lifting, I'm picking up, I'm doing physical labor. I'm giving my body to be burned. Read.
And have not charity.
And have not what?
Charity.
So I'm sweating. I'm doing physical stuff to help my people. But if I don't have that charity, which is in my heart, that brotherly love, read on.
It profit me nothing.
It doesn't profit me. When we read these things, I think a lot of times we read the Bible, but we don't study the Bible. We don't study what they're saying. Read on.
Charity suffereth long.
Charity does what?
Suffereth long.
This is an attribute of what it means to have charity. It's long suffering. Let me give you an example. Say if you believe something in your heart and the scriptures support what you believe, and the other person that's your brother, he just don't believe it. He's just not there. And you like say, man, I know you see this, man. You're going to have a degree of long suffering because he can't see what you can see right now. But that's a degree of long suffering, which is charity. Read on.
Charity suffereth long and is kind.
And is what?
And is kind.
So you can't get mad at him and be in contention with him because he or she doesn't see the thing or the issue or the precept the way you see it. Right? Go ahead.
Charity envieth not.
Charity does what?
Envieth not.
When it says envieth not, we can get into situations where we'll fall into envy. We get into situations where we disrespect people that are over us, or disrespect our managers, or people that we're supposed to have respect for over the way that we feel, right? We can't do that because that level of charity has to be there, right? Go ahead.
Charity vaunteth not itself.
So it doesn't vaunt itself against anybody or anything. It doesn't make you think or belittles you. Go ahead.
Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up.
It's not what?
Puffed up.
Uh-oh. Now, if you know, and the other person may not know, you're not going to puff yourself up to make that be. Sometimes you have to be examples from your actions. Your actions have to show to your brothers and sisters where you are. And you're going to have long suffering. You're going to have patience. We already talked about these things. That's in Galatians 5. We already pulled that in another class not too long ago. We always pull it. But this is something we have to remind ourselves to keep. You got to keep those things. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 13, verse 5. Doth not behave itself unseemly.
Wait. It does not what?
Behave itself unseemly.
You cannot behave yourself unseemly because of a disagreement or something that you're falling at odds with a person. We got to remember these things. If you have charity, you won't behave yourself unseemly. Go ahead.
Seeketh not her own.
Seeketh not what?
Her own.
Trying to get your own way. Trying to get your own point across. Read.
Is not easily provoked.
When someone provokes you, don't be easily provoked. Don't rail for rail. Don't go back into it. We're always talking about this, and guess what? We're going to keep talking about it because our brothers and sisters need to know these things, right? And it's crazy because every time I teach a class, either I have been tested on it or I'm about to be tested on it. So I'm not speaking at you guys as much as I'm speaking to you guys and to myself, right? Read on.
Seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil.
Don't think evil against the people when you're not on the same page. Read on.
Rejoice not in iniquity.
Rejoice not in sin. Read.
But rejoice in the truth.
Rejoice in what?
In the truth.
We're going to rejoice in the law. We're going to try to keep the laws to the best of our ability together. But some of those laws, they demand that you have a certain attitude towards your brother, or that you have show a certain amount of restraint towards your brother or your sister. That is what keeping the law or keeping the truth is. Read on.
Beareth all things.
Beareth all things. What all things? You're bearing reproach. You're bearing anger. You're bearing frustration. You're bearing what is it? You're frustrated. You're angry. Give me another one. They egging you when you're annoyed.
I was going to say you annoyed.
When you're annoyed, you're bearing those things, right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Beareth all things. Believeth all things.
Believeth all things that are written. Read.
Hopeth all things.
All hope, meaning you're going to keep a positive attitude. Go ahead.
Endure all things.
You're going to go through a multitude of things when you have this charity. Go ahead.
Charity never faileth.
It's never, because if you keep these attitudes, if you keep these principles, it's never going to fail you, right? Go ahead.
Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail.
Read.
Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part.
Stop right there. Do you understand that it's telling you that we're going to know certain things and we're not going to know other things? We're going to know in a part and then we're going to prophesy in a part. So nobody has the 100% understanding, all the knowledge and everything. You're learning a little bit here and you're learning a little bit there. So when it says not prideful, not charity doesn't puff it up, it's not puffed up. It puts us in our place. We shouldn't be puffed up because we all know in part. We all prophesy in part. If I make a major decision in the congregation, I'm always consulting an elder about the decision. This brother is an elder, and guess what? He has elders that he calls and gets advice from that live out of state that he gets to bounce. Hey man, what you think about this? I have other brothers that don't live here that I talk to, and the elders help us through trying to guide the people that are around us, just trying to live righteous. If he calls an elder about a particular situation, he's trying to do what's right. He's trying to have what? That's charity, because he doesn't want to make a mistake. So he's doing the best he can. But guess what? Sometimes he's gonna make mistakes. Sometimes I'm gonna make mistakes. But we're doing the best we can. That's why we say, I want you to read that last part again.
1 Corinthians 13, verse 9. For we know in part.
We know in part.
And we prophesy in part.
In part. Not, did it say whole?
In part.
So in part, we're doing the best we can, right? So we don't throw the baby away with the bathwater because we don't get everything perfect. Watch this. Read the next part.
Verse 10. But when that which is perfect is come.
So when Yahushua come, because he's that which is perfect and is going to set all things in righteousness. He's going to set us right. He's going to give us a pure language. He's going to give us a pure way to keep the commandments. He's going to give us all righteousness to do what we're supposed to do. Read that.
But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. So
everything that we're doing now, if we're not doing 100% now, that which is in part shall be done away with. Meaning, even if we don't have it 100%, we're going to put that away and we're going to do it the way Yahushua said. Guess what? Because guess what? He's looking at our hearts. He's looking at our sincerity. He's looking at how we're supposed. What is your attitude when you're trying to keep the law?
Right.
Are you keeping it in malice? Are you dealing with your brothers and sisters in malice? Or are you doing it out of the pure heart? Those things matter. And if it doesn't matter to you, the scriptures tell us that it matters to the Most High. So that's the attitude that we're going to take. That's the attitude we're going to have. Now watch this. I want you to jump to verse 12. You're going to read 12 and 13. Watch this.
1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 12. For now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even also I am known.
So we see through a dark glass, meaning we don't see everything clearly. Everything is not 100% clear to us, but we are trying out of a sincere heart. Now we read verse 13.
Verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity.
So he said faith, hope, charity, but the greatest of all these things that he's speaking about are charity. That's brotherly love, being able to forgive each other, being able to put up with everybody's little quirks, right? I just had a conversation with my brother yesterday, Taz. We just had a conversation. Love you, brother. And I'm going to use you as an example. When we first started working together at the barbershop, we both in the same faith. We both in the same belief system, right? We both know we Israelites. And we didn't click right off, right? And we've been working together for about almost 2 years now. And we started to click later on. We started to learn each other. We started to we started accepting each other for both of our little shortcomings. And so we actually got closer. And now it's crazy because I've been knowing this dude for almost 2 years. And now he like, that's my man. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my man. Mm-hmm. And so it didn't start out like that. But when we started using charity or practicing charity with each other, guess what? that relationship changed from I could take him or leave him, or he could take me or leave me, to man, I can't live without him. Y'all see that? I can't live without him now. That's my man's. I look for him when we have these days or something goes on. Let's say, man, where my boy Taz at? Where my man's at? It's changed, but it only changed because we started what? Using charity with our brothers. That's the only reason it changed, because we started practicing charity. Man. Man, absolutely.
So my brother was explaining charity, and one thing I know, us being in the world, when we hear the word charity, what we think is, and what comes to our mind is what? Give all your money to charity.
Right.
Throwing all your money away.
Right.
To some Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme or something. In your mind, you're thinking about the scheme.
Right.
When
the pyramid scheme. That
charity don't always have, a lot of times it has, when you read in the scripture and it's talking about charity, a lot of times it has absolutely nothing to do with money. I'm going to say 95% of the time when you see the word charity, I'm going to say 99% of the time when you see the word charity in this book right here, in any of these books that's inside this one book, 99% of the time is not talking about your money.
Nope.
That's not, because that's not what the Most High wants us to do. Because you could throw money at it and not have no love.
Right. You just throw money at the problem.
All right.
And you're done.
Right. I know people who are fathers who they throw money at it, but it ain't no love. It ain't no guidance. Ain't no direction. Right.
Exactly.
But they throw the money at it, and then in turn, these children who people I know, their children are growing up and they like, okay, that's my dad.
Right.
But they don't the relationship isn't what it should be because of the lack of charity.
They're not locked in because of the lack of charity.
Also, I wanted to get this because my brother pulled it out. If you got it, let me know. Go to John 14:26. So my brother was going in, and I'm talking about he was on it, right? And I was trying to let him get it through because he was on fire. Look at 1 Corinthians 13:4. It says, charity suffer long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity is vaunteth not itself.
Right.
Right. Then it furthers that statement by saying, is not puffed up. These things that it's going into, look at what it's going into. It's long suffering, meaning it's patient, right?
That's right.
But then it says it's kind and envy not. Envy has to do with your pride.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Charity vaunteth not. Vaunting has to do with your pride.
Yep.
Then it says it's not puffed up. Guess what that got to do with? Your pride.
Yep.
Now, one thing that we deal with in Israel is if you're not with my congregation, you're not in my camp, then you're not in the truth. Right? That's being puffed up. That's vaunting, right? Also, go to verse 9. He says, for we know in part and we prophesy in part. My brother on fire because only somebody who is their arrogance is way up here. Their ego is way up here. Only somebody who feels like thinks to themselves, I know it all.
Right.
I know the whole truth. I'm not missing nothing.
Right.
I don't make any mistakes. I'm not lacking anything. Only someone who is arrogant and has that ego that verse 4 is to be referring to.
That's right.
Feels that way, right? This is why he says we prophesy in part, meaning I can have 85%. It's 15% that I'm missing.
Right.
It's a portion there that maybe you just haven't studied it. Maybe it hasn't caught your interest yet.
Right.
Whatever it could be, because there are things that I'm not as well versed in because they don't keep my interest, so I don't study them as much, right? And so we know in part and we prophesy in part, but get that for me, John 14:26.
This is John chapter 14 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
And it reads, but the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost,
what are you going to do?
Whom the Father will send in my name. He shall teach you all things.
Wait, so you see what's going to happen is there's a teaching. He's not just going to drop it in your head.
Right.
There's going to be a teaching, and you're going to learn. Oh, the light bulb's going to go off. Something's going to click, and you're going to say, this is what I was missing the whole time.
Right.
This is what, you know what? I've been saying I was going to start studying that, and I never could get into it.
Right.
He's going to, then what? He's going to teach you all things, right? So you're not just going, it's not just going to pop into your head, and I don't care who you are, captain, elder, priest, whatever your title is, is something that you don't have. There's
Yep.
there's I don't care if it's 5%.
Right.
You might have 95% truth, but that 5% you don't have, guess what? That's the biggest 5% of that you've never had in your life.
That's right.
It's the heaviest 5% that you've never had in your life.
Yep.
And you need for this comforter to come back to teach it to you.
Yep.
Right? Read.
And bring all things to your remembrance.
This is what's going to happen. And this is why we know in part and prophesy in part, because we need that comforter to come back and bring it, teach us, and then bring it back to he's going to teach what we already knew, what was already, this law is embedded in us. This is why it's a part of us that know this is the truth.
Yep.
And so that when it's like, oh, the commandment hitting us, it hits us, whether we want to accept it, deny it, believe it or not, it hits us. It cuts us at the heart, right?
That's right.
And so this is why he's going to bring all things back to remembrance. It's in you already. Go ahead.
Whatsoever I have said unto you.
So this book already been told to us.
That's right.
It's already, listen, even if you don't know, for all you Christianites out there, I know y'all tuning in, this is, you've already been told these commandments.
That's right.
You've already been told a lot of this. Now, you're going to deny it, you're going to run from it, but this is what has been, it says, whatsoever I have said unto you. So this is what's going to be brought back to you. This is what's going to be taught to you. This is the part that's going to be added to the part that you're missing. It's going to come to you. Nobody has it all. We got to humble ourselves down. Charity requires you to humble yourself down. It requires that, because you have to humble yourself down to show that love, to say, you know what, I'm going to, like my brother said, we're going to go out here and give out these backpacks.
Yep.
We're going to go out here and make sure these brothers and sisters got some food. We're going to go out here and make sure these brothers and sisters got some clothes. What y'all need? It takes humility to do that.
Yes.
No, you know what? You see me giving you this. That's not humility.
It's not humility. Yeah.
And we out here with humility. This is how we got to be. Not just us. I'm not pumping up the Shema. I'm saying all Israel. We got to have that. We got to have that.
That's right.
We got to understand we know in part and prophesy in part.
That's
Otherwise,
right.
you are operating in that pride. I'm sorry. I
No.
go too long.
What my brother just said is right and exact. Just to add to what he just said, charity is also, when he said it has hardly nothing to do with money, nothing to giving out, like we give out the backpacks and we get out. It has everything to do with the giving of yourself. It's going to be self-giving, and then it's more complicated than brotherly love, because it's a state of mind while you're giving of yourself. It's a state of mind that you have to be in while you're giving that. So you can't just give it and be like, like he said, just I'm giving you this. Yeah. No, there's a state of mind that comes with giving. That's why I'm focusing on the different people coming together of different doctrines and stuff, because that state of mind has to be there. We got brothers that have a totally different doctrine, and every time they see us, they grabbing us and hugging us, and oh man, because they never felt that in Israel. They are Israelites too. They know that they're Israel. They just practice differently than we do. And the thing about it is, we're showing them love because we don't know anybody that's doing that. We don't know the people that's doing. We're trying to do it so that more people can catch the bug and be like, oh,
that's my brother.
Oh, you mean this?
That's my family right there.
Oh, you mean them over there?
Oh, them. That's my family. That's my people. Oh, okay.
That's what we're trying to do,
so that they can then operate with that same charity and love. No pride, no arrogance, just charity and love. And this is what's lacking in our community, in our nation, nation. Whether we know the truth or don't, charity, this love is lacking in our nation as a whole.
Yep, we got to get that together, y'all. We have to get that together. I want you to go to James chapter 5 and verse 19. The book of James chapter 5 and verse 19. Like my brother said, we got to start coming back to that, and the only way it's going to start is if our people start doing it. Just like bad habits are easy to catch, we're going to start good trends to see if y'all catch those too, because everybody can catch a dirty song. Everybody can catch when something unprofitable is happening. We're going to see if somebody can catch it if something positive is going on. Go ahead.
This is James chapter 5. You said 19, right?
Uh-huh.
Verse 19. Brethren, If any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him,
Read on.
let him know that he which converted the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death.
So if somebody's going out, if you convert somebody that's erring, you're saving a soul from death. But what?
And shall hide a multitude of sins.
See, y'all don't understand what charity can really, really do for y'all. When you give and you giving up yourself and you have the right attitude and you really trying to be an example to people, just like Christ was our example, you can hide a multitude of your sin just by what's in your heart. Just by, I don't have it perfect. It ain't all together, but I'm showing true and pure brotherly love, and that can hide a multitude of sins. This is what the Bible's telling us. It can cover a multitude of sins. You don't know how the Father is going to deal with you at the end, because there may be some things that you were not privy to. There are some things that you may not have understood fully, that somebody else is doing better than you. But because you had that pure love or that pure charity in your heart, you may get that pass to come on in. Y'all see that? You might get that pass to come on in, right? Give me Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Let's get a precept real quick.
The book of Galatians chapter 6 verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault.
If you're taken in a what?
In a fault.
Read on.
Ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness.
And the spirit of meekness is having that degree of charity. You have to be meek when you're doing it, because that is a degree of charity, the spirit of meekness. Go ahead.
Considering thyself.
Considering what?
Considering thyself.
We went over this before, but we're going to go over it again. Considering that you could be in the same position and you ain't perfect either. You haven't done everything right. There's some things that you're falling short on right now that you probably don't even know about. But you can't look down at your nose at the next man because he ain't got it the way you want him to have it. Go ahead.
Lest thou also be tempted.
Read on.
Bear ye one another's burdens.
Read on.
And so fulfill the law of Christ.
So when you bear each other's burdens, you're fulfilling the law of Christ. That is a pure charity. This is what this is going into. Having that brotherly love. When he says bear each other's burdens, that's part of what brotherly love or charity is. You got any more on that?
Nope.
Read. Watch this. Read the next verse.
Verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing.
When he is what?
When he is nothing.
No, I'm right about everything.
When he is nothing.
Read on.
He deceive himself.
You're deceiving yourself when you think you got it, and you think you got it going on, and you think that you're not in that sin. You're deceiving yourself. Yes, you may not be in the same sin that another person's in, but there's something you may be falling short in, and you may need to have some grace for that. You may need to have some forgiveness for that. Go ahead.
Verse 4. But let every man prove his own worth.
You got to prove your own worth, man. Go ahead.
And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone.
Read on.
And not in another.
So you got to look at yourself first. So that's what makes us have compassion on other people, is knowing that we're not perfect in of ourselves. And it makes us have compassion because we know we're not perfect. We may be doing a lot of stuff right. Don't get it twisted. But we know we may be falling on some things. Maybe known or unknown, seen or unseen, but we may be falling on some stuff. Read on.
Verse 5. For every man shall bear his own burden.
Read on.
Verse 6. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teaching in all good things.
They're teaching in all what?
In all good things.
It says, for every man shall bear his own burden. So at the end of the day, you have your own burdens to bear. You got things that you're going to go through, right? So you got to remember to show compassion. You got to remember to show charity to other people. And a lot of times, man, we just forget it. We forget. We get so comfortable with ourselves, we forget to have that compassion, that charity, that grace, right? Mm-hmm. And we forget to do the laws that Christ, he said, and I love this part that you read a while ago. He said, verse 2 says, bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. Yeah, we don't even look at that. We don't look at any of that, and we have to look at that. What is he talking about? Bearing each other's burdens and fulfilling the laws of Christ. What does he mean when he say that? Watch this. I want you to go. Wait, go ahead.
Here's something.
Go ahead.
Because you hear, man. So my brother we was explaining charity, and we were saying that we can't be puffed up with one another, right?
That's right.
That we can't be arrogant. We can't feel like we know all the truth, that I got it. nor should I feel like, oh, I'm above him. He going through that. Shame on him, right? No. Look, read verse 6 from the top one.
Verse 6. Mm-hmm. Chapter 6 and verse 6 of the book of Galatians. It says, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teaches in all good things.
This is what we supposed to be. We got to lift each other up.
That's right.
Yeah, point out the error if a brother's going wrong, but also we need to. I know we don't have no problem with showing somebody what they doing wrong.
Right.
But what we need to do is see when my brother need help and be there for them.
Say that.
Be there for them, because what you saying sounds good, but people always. I used to be a school teacher, and I used to tell people all the time that children don't really hear what you're saying, but they do see what you're doing.
Yeah. And
if you want them to be a certain way, they need to see that.
Right.
You can tell them, but if they see it, then your words ring the bell in their ears, like, oh, this is what I'm seeing.
That's right.
Watch. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. In whom we have redemption through his blood, and the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of...
No, not that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go back to verse 3. Excuse me.
Verse 3.
Yes.
Blessed be...
You in Galatians 6?
Oh, I'm tripping. I'm in Ephesians. I'm in Ephesians, yo. My bad, bro. I'm tripping. Galatians chapter 6 and verse what?
3.
Verse 3. For if a man thinketh himself to be something.
See, you feel like you don't go through this. I'm above that. I've been here. I've been in the truth for 15 years.
Right.
So you don't go through nothing. Oh, read.
When he is nothing.
You nothing. You the same person that you feel like you above that or you're better than that because you've been here or you know this. You're nothing.
Yep.
Read.
He deceiveth himself.
You're deceiving yourself thinking you're something when you're not. Read.
Verse 4. But let every man prove his own work.
Mm-hmm.
And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone.
And what?
And not in another.
Because we got to go through it. And when you go through it, when it's saying rejoicing, you can think back and see what you came through and say, damn.
That's right.
You know what? I know how to help this brother get through this. You can rejoice through your own tribulations and you conquering that. You going through that. You going through the fire and you coming out a shiny piece of silver or a shiny piece of gold.
That's right.
Right? This is what it's saying when it says you can rejoice in yourself. You can be there for that brother. You can give charity to that brother. You can be strength to that brother. This is what we got to do. As a nation, this is something that is lacking in us.
Helping each other, man.
That's all I wanted. Right?
No, that's right and exact. But like my brother was just explaining, bro, we got to continue to help each other. We the generation, just like he said, my brother's a school teacher, right? He was a school teacher, right? The generation of young Israelite people are watching us. They're seeing how we handle things. They're seeing what we do. They're seeing what's going on with us. Who are we going to pass the torch to? Bro, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
So we have to pass the torch to somebody. We have to be the example to those powerful children, young prophets that are coming up. We have to do that. But we can't do it by getting caught up in our feelings, feeling like we know everything, right? We got to do the work. The work involves changing yourself, your attitude, and being a good example to those around you in different situations. Because the Most High gonna test you, and every weak point you got, it's gonna get exposed. Because that's exactly for what I'm telling you now. That's exactly what he's doing to me. He's exposing anything that I got that I lack. He's exposing it. And sometimes you guys can know precepts. You guys can know this Bible, but y'all grace ain't there. Y'all compassion ain't there. Watch this. Go to John chapter 1 and verse 14. Because we say we follow Christ, just like the Christianites. We say we follow Christ, but this is what Christ brought, and these are the examples that we're going to follow, or that we are supposed to follow. Watch this.
John chapter 1, verse 14. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, The glory is of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth.
What is he full of?
Full of grace and truth.
So if he's full of grace and truth, I think when we read it, we just think this is what Christ is. No, you got to be full of grace and truth too. Read on.
Verse 15. John bare witness of him and cried, saying, this was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me.
Meaning we know that Christ made this earth. The Most High God commissioned Christ to put everything together for us. And then he came and took on the fleshly form. Now watch this. Read the next verse.
And of his fullness have all we received, and grace for grace.
No. What? Read that last part again.
And grace for grace.
Why did he say grace for grace? Because he's reminding us we have to have that grace. We always miss it when we become precept ninjas and start learning this Bible. That's that grace is the little tidbit that we miss. Now read this next part.
For the law was given by Moses.
By who?
By Moses.
So we know the law. We know it came from Moses, but you got to add something with the law because Christ came. Go ahead.
For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
No man hath seen God at any time.
Read on.
The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him.
You see that? When we have that grace and truth, we got to remember we have to take on those characteristics. Mm-hmm. We have to do that. Like we're looking for Christ to just come and do it for us. When we read this, it looks like he's doing it for us, don't it? It looks like he's going to be the grace and the truth, and he's doing it for us. No, we have to embody that which is Christ and become that grace and that truth to the best of our ability. And that involves perfecting the laws of brotherly love that he put in the Bible.
Yes, it does.
You can't do it without that charity or that brotherly love.
You'll be being a Sadducee or a Pharisee.
Exactly.
No love, no grace, none of that. You operate in the law like a robot or a machine. And there's no charity.
You can't operate like a machine. You can't operate like a Pharisee or a Sadducee. Because if you don't have any grace in it, that's why he said grace for grace, because you need grace and then show other people grace, because you're going to need grace too. Grace and truth. And you got to embody that. And I think a lot of people miss that. We really, really miss that. Go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9.
Let me get some on the way there.
Go ahead.
Go to 1 John chapter 2, verse 6.
Gotcha.
So my brother was saying that this is something that we got to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we ourselves need to be. We call ourselves apostles, disciples, followers, and we ourselves need to be doing the same things Christ is doing. He was saying how we got to master that brotherly love and that charity. Yes, keep the commandments. Most definitely. If you deal with any of us, you deal with brothers in the Shema, we're going to tell you, keep them commandments.
That's right.
But we're going to point to you and say, you got to know how to do it with grace and charity, with love, right?
Yep. Go
to 1 John chapter 2, verse 6. Because this is what if we claiming that we followers of Christ, Christians, I'm an apostle, I'm a disciple, I'm a believer, right? All these titles, that's great.
Right.
But this is what you need to be doing. Get that for me?
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, he that saith he abide in him.
Stop right there. So, yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm an apostle. I'm a disciple. You're claiming something that you don't just put that jacket on and then go.
Right.
Like, it's work that come with that jacket that you're finna put on. Read.
Ought himself also to walk even as he walked.
As he walked. We got to walk the way Christ walked.
Mm-hmm.
So when we read in the scripture and it say he walked in the synagogue on the Sabbath, you know what we need to be doing? We need to find some brothers and walk in that school on the Sabbath. That's when right. It say, oh, yeah, this is what he did for Feast of Dedication, we need to be like, okay, dedication coming, this is what I'm doing. Oh, so he ate a bunch of fish. Oh, okay, let me get my fish game up. Right? We need to be walking the way he walked. Guess what? You can't, I'm going to tell y'all, Get 12 of your best friends and let them hang around you day and night for a month straight. You're going to be annoyed with somebody.
Man.
You think Christ wasn't annoyed with somebody?
Man.
Simon Peter, oh my God, you get on my nerves. Andrew, go over there. Go hang out with them right now. I'm tired. You think he wasn't feeling like that? But through love, through grace, through charity, he dealt with his brethren with that. And hey, you know what? They never felt like, no, I can't deal. He got a bad attitude. No. Even if he rebuked them, no.
Right.
We got to even accept the rebuke with love and grace and charity. We need to be walking as he walked.
Yep.
Keeping the commandments, showing the love, edifying, bringing into the truth while showing the love, while giving the grace, while bringing the understanding. This is the walk that we're supposed to do. That's all I wanted to.
That's right, exact. When we disagree, bro, in this truth now, where we at now, when we disagree, we fall out. When we disagree, we fall completely out. We burn the bridge. Mm-hmm. We put gasoline on it. We light it up. It whoosh.
Flame on.
And it's just
flame it on.
It's just gone. And that attitude, it shouldn't be there with us. We should change that attitude about ourselves. We should do better, man.
I'm gonna tell you, in this last Sabbath class, remember I brought up and I said Christ saying that we being a bunch of immature children.
Yep.
When you have a disagreement, not a falling out, not an argument where you like, nigga, no, I ain't talking about that. I'm saying you see John 1:1 one way, I see John 1:1 another way. Right. We both know we're talking about Christ. Okay, cool. He the light. Okay, cool. But we got some discrepancies in between that.
Right.
So now I don't talk to him. I don't deal with him. I can't be around him. You know what that is? We already said, Christ said you being immature.
Right.
Come on, man. We all grown folks. We know we're not going to agree on everything.
Every little detail.
It's just not going to happen.
And it's one, you go to a congregation, it's one detail that you don't agree with. And then you like, oh, well, I'm just boom. I'm just going to, bro. I think the Most High is people that do that. He's going to humble those individuals because they're going to find out that you got to humble yourself in order to talk to your brethren. There's lots of differences between different brethren. There's a lot of differences. We're waking up and trying to come out of being sick. So we're trying our best. That's why I'm dealing with people that have totally different doctrines and we come together and we don't even talk stuff like doctrine or whatever. We already know what it is. When they see me, they know what it is. They can tune in to YouTube anytime and see what I believe in. So, and I can tune in to their channels and see what they believe in. Yeah. So that's not even the issue. That the issue is showing that brotherly love, that charity that's there. Let's see how Christ did it. Go to I want you to go to Matthew chapter 9 and verse 9. We're gonna get it out of the mouth of Christ because he showed us perfectly how to do it, and they were judging him for it. They were getting on him. Why you sitting up? Let's see what he said.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. And as Jesus passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of customs. And he saith unto him, follow me. And he arose and followed him.
So he seen Matthew, the one who wrote the book of Matthew. He said, look, he looked at him, hey man, follow me. Matthew didn't ask no questions. He just got up and followed Christ. Watch this. Read on.
And it came to pass, as Jesus sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples.
So many publicans and sinners, meaning people that were not in the truth. Now he's sitting down, I want y'all to understand this, with people that do not believe as he believed. They are not in the truth, right? Read on.
And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, why eateth your master with publicans and sinners?
Why he sitting with them people over there that ain't in the truth? Why he over there dealing with them people that's Old Testament only? Mm-hmm. Why he dealing with them people over there that don't believe as we believe? They don't keep the same Sabbath week. They don't do none of those things we do. Right. Why is he over there with those people?
Hey, they got on zeets and not fringes.
Yeah, they got on zeets and not fringes. Why is he over there with them?
Yeah. They say Yahshua.
Yeah, they say Yeshua, Hamashiach, and we say Yahushua. So we don't need to be talking to them.
We can't deal with them.
Right? Same difference. Read on.
Verse 12. But when Jesus heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician.
If you keeping all the commandments, we're not even dealing with, we're not coming for you. You need to keep keeping the commandments. If you whole, you don't need a physician. Read on.
But they that are sick.
But they that are what?
But they that are sick.
Read on.
But go ye and learn what that means.
So he told him, he said, you know what? I know you don't understand what I'm saying. Because you're not going to sit with nobody that's not, at that time, the Pharisee, you're not going to sit with nobody that's not a Jew. So I know you don't know what I'm talking about. But he said, now you need to learn what that means, right? So you need to unharden your heart, son. You need to have more charity in your heart. Read.
But go and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy.
Wait, I have what?
I will have mercy.
No, I have the commandment.
I will have mercy.
Read.
And not sacrifice.
Read on.
For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
See, we're going to teach sinners how to repent. Now, he was teaching, when you read up, he was teaching, right? He was talking, but sometimes a precept won't get it. Sometimes people need to watch you on how you moving to be an example to them. So you have to move. The Bible says be as harmful as a dove and as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Sometimes it don't even take a precept to get through to somebody. Sometimes what it takes is you having charity in your heart and just showing brotherly love. And it's like, man, I know this nigga think different than me. I know he on something totally different. Why he always treat me with love and respect? Why is it, hold up, why he always invite me out to stuff? He know I don't believe like he believe.
Look, I'll give you a better example. Your situation with them brothers on the corner that one time. And it was an issue, a lot of conflict, a lot of confrontation. And towards the end of it, something had happened and them brothers had lost something.
Yeah.
And Shi'yah saw what it was and said, hey, there it is. Y'all get them back their thing. And after the confrontation, after the conflict, one brother tried to spit on my brother and some more stuff, right? After all of that, after they saw the charity that the brothers had gave them and it was all said and done, them brothers came up and hugged my brothers.
Yeah.
That's showing you your opposition could see your charity.
Yes.
The people, the ops, I love you, baby. My baby called them the ops, right? The ops will see they will see the charity and the love and the respect that's coming off of you.
Yes.
And they saw it even after the confrontation.
Yes.
And they decided, you know what? No, them brothers is good brothers, man.
Yeah.
And came up and honored my brothers with love. And I'm saying that this charity, that honor, that respect, walking the way the Most High in Christ want us to walk,
yes,
following in those footsteps, that goes so long. And when Christ is saying that we're supposed to let our light shine, when we do that, the light shines. People see it.
That's right.
People see it. They acknowledge it. And guess what? We're doing. The Most High said, I send you out there to be an example.
That's right.
To be ambassadors of mine. When our light is shining, that's when we're at our best at doing those two jobs.
That's right.
And that's the goal. Not just for our people, because he said we're supposed to be lights to the world. You know, that's what's gonna make them come and follow us.
That's right.
From other nations. That's what's gonna make them say, that's a wise and understanding people.
Right.
Because that light gonna be shining. But if we're not shining that light, if we don't have charity towards, I'm gonna tell you, it's a document, I can't remember it, but it's a documentary where they talk to other nations and they talk to them about us. Mm-hmm. And they said that they don't respect and love they don't respect and love themselves.
Yeah.
So like, why do I have to do it? They don't love themselves.
Why would I follow these niggas?
Yeah, why? For
they
what?
kill each other. Why would I follow these niggas? Right?
But when we on fire and we shining, the other nations, they actually, those in their right mind, they want to see it so they know how they supposed to conduct themselves.
That's right. They
waiting on us.
That's right.
But if we don't have charity and love for our own, they're not going to follow us into nothing, and they just going to be sitting there. They're going to continue to abuse us, and we're going to continue to be being oppressed.
Yep. And just to add to what my brother's saying, that one incident that he brought up, bro, it got so bad to where we almost put guns on each other. Like it got to where guns almost got it. It was a very volatile situation. I know that the angels of the Lord were there to protect us, and we were in our right state of mind, because at the end of the day, we still use charity with people that was without the laws. These people were not practicing what we practice. They wasn't doing like what we were doing. These were thugs. These people that was selling stuff, getting it like, I got to get it out there how I live. These is those individuals at that time. So that was a very volatile situation, but the Father brought us through it. And if it wasn't for practicing charity, who knows where that
could have
went?
Right.
It could have went to a horrible, horrible place. But that's why we're sitting here teaching you or talking to you guys about what charity, and we're teaching the class because we've been through it. Not only have we been through it, we're trying to practice those charity attributes to our brothers, those that are in this truth and those that are without this truth. We're trying to practice that. That's so important, y'all. That is so important, right? I want you to go to Samuel from chapter 16 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get Samuel 16 and 7. This is a very, very important one, y'all. This is very, very important.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7.
Now watch this.
But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance.
This is when he was talking about David and they was about to anoint David as king. He said, don't look at his countenance, read.
Or on the height of his stature.
Don't look at how he looks, because everybody wants a king to be tall and handsome and all that. David was not tall, right? Go ahead.
Because I have refused him.
I have what?
I have refused him.
The ones that's tall and handsome, he said he refused them, read.
For the Lord seeth not as man seeth.
So God doesn't see us as we see ourselves, read.
For man look on the outward appearance.
So man looking at a stature or an idea of what they think a king is supposed to be or a person is supposed to be. But watch this.
But Yahweh look on the heart.
He looks on the what?
On the heart.
It's your heart. It's what's in here. It's what's in here. It's how this thing is moving. This is however this thing is moving, that's how the Father's looking at it. So all of you guys who want to get every commandment right, and you just want to go by the letter of the law and all these things, where is your heart? This thing, where is your heart? Your heart has to be right, even with keeping the commandments. That's very important. That's very, very important.
Look, nobody is, like I said before, nobody is saying don't be on your game when it comes to the laws and the commandments.
That's right.
Quite the contrary. Be on your game.
Be on your game.
Be on your game. But we have to understand that there's a part of love and charity that goes into it.
That's right.
That if we, like I said before, if we operating without love, without love and charity, then we're being Sadducees and Pharisees. We have the law, but we're missing another key ingredient that makes everything complete.
Exactly. And just to add to what my brother said, I couldn't have had my relationship get better with my brother Taz because our understandings on certain things were so different. I couldn't have had that understanding to get right if I hadn't just continued to practice that. It didn't happen overnight. We've been around each other for about 2 years now, right? But it did happen. But those key ingredients we both was dealing with the law and knew the precepts and all. But when that charity came in, man, that thing got so much better. Yes. And I hate to keep using my brother as an example, but that was, man, I'm just so happy that breakthrough happened because that was a big deal for us to even get that understanding. Our understandings are different. You're going to come across people that your understanding is going to be different than theirs. And there's nothing you could say to this man to make his understanding come up to where yours is. If you feel like you're the one with the most intelligence, there's nothing you could say to him to make you.
I'm going to tell you, it's going to be differences, you guys.
Yes.
There are going to be differences. We had different schools of thought. You see this in the Gospels.
Yes.
You had the Sadducees and the Pharisees.
Yep.
What people don't explain or what we don't realize is there's another set called the Essenes.
Yes.
Right? There's another set called the Zealots.
Yeah.
You know what the common thread was though? That they knew that they were the chosen, that we the people.
That's right.
They knew that. They knew that we supposed to keep these commandments. They knew that. Now, whether one group believed in zeets and the other group believed in fringes, where one group believed in the floating Sabbath and the other one believed in the solid Sabbath. Listen. That all could have been in there. They could have all had them differences. Right. But they knew, you know what? One thing for sure. Adultery, God said don't do it. We ain't supposed to be doing it. That's right. The Sabbath day, whether yours is floating or whether mine is set, we need to be having one. That's right. It need to be a 7-day count. That's right. You know what? These the holy days. This is them. This is them right here. Yep. We had the common thread. And guess what? The Sadducees and Pharisees, guess what they did? Well, they had differences of opinions. They let charity bring them together so they could take down Christ, though. Yes. Our people will come together for some foolish wickedness.
Ignorance. Exactly.
But we can't put down our differences to love one another or to be around another, to accept the brother.
For righteousness.
We got to do better. As a nation, we got to do better.
That's right.
I'm not pointing the finger at nobody. We, Shema included.
That's right.
We got to do better.
We got to do better.
You know, as a nation.
You're right. And that, did you have something?
No.
That brings me to our next precept. I want you to go to Psalms chapter 51 and verse 10. This is a very, very important thing because we gotta pray. We can't just say, "Oh, well, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like that." No, this is what we have to do if we're trying to get to that space. What my brother is talking about, chapter 51, verse 10.
This is the 51st Psalm, the 10th verse. Create in me a clean heart.
Do what?
Create in me a clean heart.
You're asking the Father to create in you a clean heart. Read.
Oh God, and renew a right spirit within me.
So if you really want this, if you really want that charity, if you really want to be righteous, you can sit down as a prayer, read this as a prayer, and say, "Create in me a clean heart, O Yahweh, and renew a right spirit within me." You can do that, but we're too busy bickering at each other and being upset over the differences that we have, rather than just reading something simple like this that can bring us together, or that can give us charity. And that's Psalms, and just in case y'all don't know, we're going to read Psalms chapter 51 and verse 10.
Yes.
That's something that can help us.
Let me get that one more time because I got to
read that again.
This is Psalm 51, verse 10. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me.
Man.
Right? Man. Good. Can I get Psalm 119? I believe it's verse 9.
119 and verse 9. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
So my brother just pulled out where he said, man, create in me a clean heart. Man, take this old filthy one out and give me the clean one. Right? Because I want to be right with you. And me being right with you, you know what he requires of us? To be right with our brother.
That's right.
It's a requirement. So right here, this goes with that precept my brother just pulled out. That's so right. you want to get a clean heart? Great. Well, the question is posed. How do I get it clean? How do I cleanse my heart? How do I cleanse my way? Read.
By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
This is how you're gonna clean that heart.
That's right.
When he take that old dirty heart out and put a new clean one in, it's gonna be by way of this word. That's how you're gonna get it. And if he said according to thy word, if we moving according to this word, we're gonna have charity and love towards our brother, because that's what's required of us.
That's right.
That's all I want.
And we got to keep doing that. We got to make sure we do that. Give me Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 2.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 21.
No, matter of fact, I want you to give me, we're going to get 21 and 2, but I want you to give me Proverbs 4 and 23 first.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 4, and you said 21?
Verse 23.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
You're going to have issues, bro, but you got to keep your mind and keep your heart with all diligence. There are things that's going to come up. We're not saying it's easy to do these things, but that charity is something that we need. So we need to stay on 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Read the whole thing so we can stay there, because out of your heart is going to be the issues of life. So you're going to fight with yourself. That's why we read Psalms 51 and 10, where it says, create in me a clean heart, because you're going to have issues of life come up. Things are going to happen. You're going to feel some type of way about this and that, right? Watch this. Before we get where we're going, before we get to Proverbs, go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 8. We're going to show you how these Psalms and these Proverbs that's written, we're going to show you how they are so important, and that they go exactly with the New Testament. They go exactly with what we're talking about, because it talks about the condition of the heart and how we should be. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart.
Or the what?
The pure in heart.
Blessed are the pure in heart. Go ahead.
For they shall see God.
For they shall what?
For they shall see God.
So we said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. They're going to see the Most High because they what? They are pure in heart. They're listening. They have pure intentions. They don't have no ill will towards their brothers. They're not like, man, forget him. There's a righteous state of mind. There's good intentions on every decision that they make. That's where we're trying to get. That's what that charity is. That's what the charity we're trying to get to, that we're teaching on today, is where we're trying to be. So create in me, Father, a clean heart. Create in me, he said, create in me a clean heart. And what else did it say? 51. Create in me a clean heart. And I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to butcher the script.
I'll pull up on it right now. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit.
And renew a right spirit within me. I want a right spirit and I want a clean heart. That's where we're supposed to be. Now watch this. And I want to make sure that we don't fall off from that. So watch this. Proverbs 21:2.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 2.
Bring it out.
Every way of a man is right in his own eyes.
So every man think he right. When we're in the carnal mind, we think we right on everything that we do. We look at everybody else as they wrong, and we think that we right in the carnal sense. But we got to get more spiritual about this thing. Read.
But the Lord pondered the hearts.
How does the Lord ponder the heart? He's teaching you how to have a charity for your brothers. He's teaching you grace. He's teaching you compassion. He's teaching you how to forgive. These are the things that are in the scriptures. You have to learn to do these things. The Lord ponders the heart, because everybody going to feel like they're right. But once you read these scriptures, you're going to be like, oh, damn, yeah, I wasn't right. Yeah, I'm not right in my own eye all the time. I'm not right about everything all the time, because the Lord has pondered my heart. He's kind of showed me like, dang, man, I got to question myself. I got to question my actions. I got to question, did I have really bad intentions on what I said to him, on how I treated my brother? What was my intention behind it? What did I feel? What did I mean? Because everybody right in their own mind, but we have to make sure that we get past that. Now, give me Psalms chapter 44 and verse 21. Let's give them some more. 44 and 21.
This is the 44th Psalm, the 21st verse. Shall not God search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart.
For he knoweth the what?
For he knoweth the secrets of the heart.
Read on.
Yeah. For thy sake are we killed all the day long.
Read.
Are we counted as sheep for the slaughter?
So he knows the secret of all of our hearts. He knows. So it's best for you to change your heart. It's best for you to change the things that are going on in your heart, because you can hide it from me. You can hide it from your brother. You know what I'm saying? But you can't hide those things that are in your heart, those deep-seated things. If it's malice, hatred, envy, lust, resentment, you can hide all those things from us, but you can't hide it from the Most High God. And guess what? If you're not dealing with those emotions, they will come out. Have you ever heard the expression, pressure bust a pipe?
Make water run uphill.
Won't it? Pressure, he said, pressure make water run uphill, and pressure will definitely bust the pipe. So we have to make sure we're dealing with those emotions in the correct manner so that they don't overflow and take advantage of us. Okay? That's where we have to be. Last precept. Go to Go to Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 12.
This is the book of Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
For the word of God is quick.
Is what?
Is quick.
Read.
And powerful.
And what?
And powerful.
Read on.
And sharper than any two-edged sword.
The Bible says the word is sharper than any two-edged sword. It's going to cut you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel some type of way when you read things that correct you. Go ahead.
Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
When it says that, it's going to make you, once you read certain things that directly conflict with what you may be doing in your life, it's going to make you feel a certain type of way. Read on.
And of the joints and marrow.
And the what?
And of the joints and marrow.
When it said joints and marrow, that means it cut deep. That means you're going to be like, oh man.
Your marrow is inside your bone.
Right.
So it's not just cutting your flesh. It's cutting through the skin, through the muscle, through the tendon. hitting the bone, going through the bone, going through the marrow. It's saying that you're soft butter, and this word is a hot knife.
So it's signifying a deep emotion
Yes.
that you're having, a
Yes.
deep spiritual pain from listening to the word and the word convicting you. That's what this precept is talking about. It's convicting you and you're having a deep spiritual pain. Go ahead.
And of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner.
No, it's a what?
A discerner.
It's going to make clear to you. Go ahead.
Of the thoughts.
Of the what?
Of the thoughts.
Read on.
And intents.
And what?
And intents.
Read on.
Of the heart.
You see that? It's going to make clear the thoughts or intents of the heart. So if you have bad intentions on a brother and you trying to hide it or keep it away and all this, because, man, I'm going to tell you something. Since I've been in this truth, I can see spirits. I can see people's spirits. I can see their countenance. I can see when a person has a problem with another person, I can see if that person hasn't truly forgiven that other person. And they could be saying, the mouth service could be talking all the right stuff, but then I can see this person still has a grudge or still has not forgiven. And it actually, to me, when I see it, it fogs up the room. And I've been in a situation, I asked my brothers, I was like, man, can y'all see that? And certain brothers, they'd be like, well, we don't know. We don't see that. We don't. Then things manifest. And I'm like, I was right. You didn't let go. You didn't forgive. But I have to be wise enough to just let things manifest, wise enough to let things happen, right? Because the word will make you more spiritually inclined. You will see things. You will get an understanding, right? So we have to remember these things. And just like I can see things on people that, look, people can see me. If I can't forgive or let go, I'm sure there's somebody out there who'll be like, Shi'yah didn't really forgive, bro.
He ain't let that go.
He ain't let that one go, bro.
Yeah.
Just like we just read, it said the word is a double-edged sword. So just like I can see you, you probably can see me. We both can get cut. You see that? This is not something like a hidden magic power. No, I can get cut. You can see my spirit. I can see your spirit. And that's what people don't realize. They don't see that. That's why I try to let go of things. If I go through something, man, look, we good, bro. I try to let it go because it doesn't help to hold on to it, right? Last precept. Go to Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15.
This is the book of Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15.
Read.
For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmity.
So we have not a high priest that cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmity, meaning Christ felt everything that we feel now. All the emotions and feelings and stuff, he felt them. He just knew how to deal with them. That's why he's the master teacher, right? Go ahead.
But was in all points tempted.
Wait. In one point tempted.
But was in all points tempted, like as we are, yet without sin.
The same way we're being tempted today is the same way or the same emotions that Christ felt. That's why he's able to tell us what to do, how to feel, because he felt the same things. But guess what? He handled them in the way that we should be handling them today. Like my brother said, it was 12 apostles. Do you think they didn't get on each other's nerves?
I was finna go right back to it.
You think they didn't get on each other's nerves, bro?
He said, in all points tempted, like as we are. You think he wasn't like, oh my God, this brother always got something to say.
He never had a feeling like this.
Oh my God,
this nigga. These are emotions and feelings that we have. It's okay. And guess what? It's okay to have them. But how you respond to people is where the points that we're trying to make. We have to respond in a positive manner or in the right manner to show charity and love for those people. It's not that we're not having this class to tell y'all not to have those emotions. There's no class you can have that you won't have infirmities and feelings, just like Christ did. You're not going to not have we're having the class and teaching this to show you how to handle them. Read the last part.
You want me to read?
Verse 16.
Okay. This is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace.
Wait, let us come boldly unto what?
Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace.
When it says come boldly, you want to come boldly to be able to have grace there for you so that when you need it, you can have it. But then when you have to give it, you got to give it. That's giving the grace boldly. That's coming boldly to the throne of grace. Meaning when it's time for me to receive it, I can receive it because I did what? I gave it. Go ahead.
That we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
So that's how you obtain grace. You obtain mercy by your grace. If I'm able to give it freely, guess what? When it's time for me to get it, because it's gonna be a time that I need it, right? It's gonna be a time that you need it, right? We're gonna need it. But we're gonna need the grace. But guess what? It's gonna be readily available to us when we have given it freely. Then you can get it freely. And it says that last part, and it says that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Come on, man. Need we say more? Because we're gonna need that. Because we're all gonna need that. That's all I got, man. I don't know what else I can say, man.
I don't think there's nothing else to give.
I don't know what else I can say.
That's it for this one. Sheesh. Drop the mic.
Wow. Because we need that. And I want us all to remember these things. I want us all to go through these precepts. And as always, we wish for the rising up. Kwam Yasharala, we wish for the rising up of our people to come and for Yahweh Shai to come and get us out of this place. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, family. All praises.